Hey, everybody, welcome to Pep Talk, the podcast that gives you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It puts common sense back into the world where there isn't any common sense. We take all these crazy health and wellness, tricks and biohacks and et cetera out there, and we break down what's the best for you to do, and we give you information that can and will change your life if you'll put it into play. I'm Dr. Eric Nepute. I'm going to take you on a journey today that's going to help you understand a concept in health and wellness that quite honestly will change your life if you let it. And I know that it will because I've talked about this concept literally in front of hundreds of thousands of people over the past several years. And when people understand this concept, their life can absolutely be changed. So today we're going to talk about something known as self-care. And I want you to understand something, that self-care is the real healthcare. Look, if the last couple of decades in the health and wellness world hasn't taught you that you need to be your own health advocate, I don't even know why you're listening to me right now, because you can go to doctors, you can go to influencers, you can talk to podcasts, you can talk to all kinds of people that are supposedly in the health and wellness world. And most of them talk to you about trendy things that are happening now. But what you need to understand is if you truly want to be healthy, you got to learn how to take care of yourself. Don't rely on other health and wellness experts and even doctors like myself to tell you what to do. What I want to do is give you the map, the keys, and the car. You still got to drive this thing, because there is no one-stop shop for everybody. Everybody has a unique path, a unique plan, different stresses in their life that lead them towards health or towards symptom, sickness, and disease. And I want to talk to you about the concept of self-care. Look, if you understand how your self works, if you understand how your body metabolizes fats, carbs, and proteins, you then can understand what food plan is best for you. If you understand how much sleep your body is required from a genetic or cellular standpoint, you can accommodate your lifestyle that way. If you understand what exercises your body needs, then you know how to work out, when to work out, the frequency, the consistency, the intensity, all those things to maximize your output. Folks, we have technologies now that are available to all of us that your health and wellness experts should be using in their offices, or you should have the ability and the opportunity and the responsibility for yourself to have access to these things. So I want to talk to you today about the concept of of self-care being the real healthcare. In the quest, if you will, for optimal health and well-being, this concept of self-care has been around for a while, but we have decided to take it to a whole new level, because the more you can learn about yourself through precision testing, the better you can treat yourself through precision lifestyle changes, precision nutraceuticals, and even maybe precision pharmaceuticals that your body needs. And you guys know I'm not a big fan of taking drugs. But there are a lot of people that are alive today because of the medications they're on. There also are a lot of people that are going to die tomorrow because of the medications they're on. And it's the same way for nutrition. People come into my offices and they have grocery sacks full of supplements they're taking. And I'm like, why are you taking all these things? You're guessing about your health, and you should really be focusing on the root cause of it. So let's talk about the foundations for self-care. So self-care really encompasses a wider range of lifestyle choices that an individual can adapt to from their physical, their chemical, their mental, their emotional well-being that's at the core. Because if you remember, health is a balance of physical well-being, chemical well-being, and neuroemotional well-being. And the more you explore those three types of health within your own individual body, the happier, healthier, wealthier, and more balanced that you're going to be. And by the way, you need to understand these things so you can maintain a balance between, sleep and exercise and stress management and mental care, because all of those things are so important to help improve the quality and function of health. Listen, I'm a big fan of supplements, but there's a concept that I talk about all the time that I need you to understand. And that concept says this: you can't out supplement a poor lifestyle. Look, if you come to me and you say, I feel like crap, and I say, okay, well, how you eating? How you sleeping? How you thinking? How you living? And if the answer to all four of those questions is crap, well, if you eat like crap, you're going to feel like crap. If you sleep like crap, you're going to feel like crap. If you stress like crap, you get what I'm saying. Most of the problems we have to this day are self-inflicted, but we're stuck in this merry-go-round victim cycle that you can snap out of, but you have to have the right resources to do it. So let's talk about a true holistic approach of what self-care looks at. First of all, self-care needs to be assessed. You need to understand that health is physical, chemical, and emotional. So you need to take a moment back and look at your life and see, what kind of physical stresses do I have? What does that mean? Well, you could have physical stresses of sitting too long, standing too long, doing the same thing every day, being overweight, being underweight, having too many muscles, right? Too overdeveloped or too underdeveloped. You could have physical traumas and stresses that have led to symptoms and diseases that you have to this day that can be corrected. You could have mechanical defects in your body by muscles not working properly or joints not mechanically moving like they're supposed to. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do to assess your physical body. Here's a simple thing you can do. Here's one thing you can start doing right now. Every day after you take a shower or take a bath, which I would encourage you to do that on a regular basis. It's not just good for you, it's good for others as well. What I would encourage you to do is dry yourself off, put your towel around you, or you can do it without your towel on. Just make sure nobody else is around. Take your towel off and stand and look at yourself in the mirror. Close your eyes, get yourself kind of marching in place, and then just relax and open your eyes and look at your alignment. It's been said that your posture is the window to how your spine and your mechanics work, your skeletal system. If you look in the mirror and your shoulders one higher than the other, that's a problem. If your head's tilted one way, if one eye's higher than the other, if you look from the side and your head's forward like you're going off a ski slope, or if you put your arms down at the side and your hands are forward instead of being thumbs up in the stick 'em up position, or if one leg twists in or one toe toes out, those are all signs of physical imbalances in the body. And by the way, through proper stretching, proper exercises, and maybe even the utilization of some proper healthcare experts like chiropractors, physical therapists, massage therapists, the list goes on, you can get a plan to bring those back to normal. I mean, our physical well-being is huge. I mean, we now know that if our body isn't physically moving like it's supposed to, our brain can't function. Our organs can't function proper. Movement is the number one deficiency that we have on this planet right now. And not only lack of moving your body, but moving it correctly. So you need to understand that there's a physical component to health, and you need to have that assessed. What about the emotional component? Man, did you know that many of us, our emotions control our cellular function? I actually had a conversation with a very famous neuropsychiatrist recently, and we were talking about the power of suggestion, the power of auto-suggestion, or the power of what you speak about, you bring about. If you tell your body you're fat, you're sick, you're pain, you're nearly dead, you just told trillions of cells what to do. We're snared by the words of our mouth, and you better understand that that's legitimate. So be careful the words that you speak about yourself and about other people. But your emotional well-being has a lot to do not just with the amount of stress that you're under, but how your body perceives that stress and how it responds and accommodates to that stress. Did you know that there's a test out there called heart rate variability? And that heart rate variability is the gold standard of measuring what I like to call the two components of the brain. You have one component of the brain that we call the sympathetic nervous system. I refer to it as the gas pedal. That's the fight or flight response. That's the adrenal response. That's the stress response. That's the go, 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 fight or flight response that we're used to. Well, the other part of the brain is called the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of the brain that's the brake pedal. It allows you to rest, relax, grow, develop, and heal. Well, all day long, we're supposed to have this teeter-totter effect of going up and down. But most people's gas pedal's stuck on go, man. And their brakes don't work. When their gas pedal's on go, their brakes don't work. And the brake pedal, the parasympathetic nervous system, allows your body to rest and relax, grow, develop, and heal. It's your immune system response. It's your digestive response, and it's how your organs respond. So if your gas pedal's stuck on go, your body can't sleep. So you're going to get anxiety, depression, insomnia. When you can't sleep, you get imbalances in blood sugars, you get muscle aches, you get all kinds of other mental degradation type problems that can happen over time. If your gas pedal's stuck on go, digestion doesn't work. And if digestion doesn't work proper, you're going to get leaky gut, dysbacteriosis, abnormal gut bacteria. You're going to have all the irritable bowel, bowel disease symptoms, the gas, the bloating, the distension, the nausea, the vomiting, the fatigue, all those things. If your gas pedal stuck on go, your body can't make hormones. It can't heal like it's supposed to. It loses its production of what's called cell signaling technologies. Hormone function goes down, enzyme function goes down, peptide creation goes down, the body's ability to absorb and digest food go down, stem cells and exosome function goes down, all because that gas pedal stuck on go. I mean, the list goes on and on. And by the way, your brain uses that sympathetic response as a protective mechanism. It's the fight or flight response, but it's only supposed to be engaged maybe once or twice a day, only a few times a week. It should be really engaged long term. But most people live in that sympathetic overload. And by the way, think about this analogy. If your gas pedal in your car is stuck on go, how fast do you run out of gas? Man, you run out of gas so quick. No wonder people's get up and go got up and went. So you've got physical stresses, you've got emotional stresses, and there are techniques to balance those physical and emotional stresses out as well. If you are emotionally stressed out and you get physical pain in your body, if you get fatigued, if you get digestive issues or something gets fired up whenever you're stressed out, that's a sign that you are sympathetically overloaded and your body's out of whack. Doing a heart rate variability test is the gold standard for measuring that, which every one of you should have done. That's a powerful assessment to know where your self is. Because I'm telling you, your brain is the master controller of everything. And if you're sympathetically out of balance, if your brain isn't working like it's supposed to, your nerves won't work. And if your nerves don't work, your organs can't work. And you can take all the supplements and vitamins and eat all the right foods and even take all the right drugs and even all the injections of peptides and other things that are out there. But if you don't have a balance in that stress response from a brain standpoint, I always tell folks, you got a blown fuse. And if I try to treat things downstream, like my hormone imbalances or my weight gain because my brain's out of whack, it's like trying to change a light bulb when the fuse is blown. So you need precision testing to know where you're at. And this is not difficult. I mean, even doing some simple symptom survey type stuff can help you kind of get an idea of where you're at, and then running the right precision blood work and stool samples and even, saliva spit test and even, DNA discovery technology that you can actually spit into a tube or swab your mouth to see how your genetics run. To me, that's a game changer. So you got physical, you got emotional, and then the third thing is chemical. And in the chemical world, you either have toxicities or deficiencies. That's it. There can't be anything else. You're either toxic or deficient. What could you be toxic in? Well, we live in a toxic environment. I always tell people that it's toxic, TOXSICK, because the toxins in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, the stuff we wash our clothes in, and all over the environment, even the Wi-Fi that's around is a toxin for our cells. And if your cells become congested or clogged or toxic, you're going to have some serious problems in the functionality of those cells. And remember, when anything gets in the human body that's not recognized that as good or its normal self to feed the body, you have a neuroimmune system that responds. And that neuroimmune system can be a leading cause of chronic inflammation and autoimmune dysfunction. So toxicities are important. Running simple blood tests can help you to see if you're toxic. Here's a real simple test that you can do to see if you have toxicities in your body. First thing in the morning when you get out of bed, before you brush your teeth, before you eat anything or drink anything, go get a glass of water, a clear glass. Make sure it's a clear glass, fill it up to the top. And what I want you to do is I want you to spit right into that water. Not a goober, not a loogie, just saliva. And I want you to let that sit for about 15 minutes. And if your body has an imbalance in the microbacteria, if you have an overgrowth of candida, which overgrowth of candida is typically indicative of some type of toxin in the body, because candida, parasites, and et cetera, live off of heavy metals, live off of other toxins in the body. And so if you spit and that spit sticks and floats at the top, that's, for the most part, that's healthy. If it streaks or it sinks to the bottom, that's a sign that you've got toxins in your system, primarily toxins in your GI tract somewhere. It's one of the reasons why when you wake up in the morning, your breath smells so bad. There are other signs of toxicity in your body. If you have skin breakouts, acne, if you have eczema, if you have any type of skin issue, the skin is one of the organs in the body where the toxins try to escape from. That's a sign of toxicity. If you have constipation and or diarrhea, or they go back and forth, those are signs of toxicity in the body. If you're having trouble sleeping, if your skin itches, if you get floaters with the eyes a lot, these are all symptoms of toxicity. Now, I like to do blood tests, saliva tests, things of that nature to confirm exactly what toxins we have, because I always tell folks I like to hunt with a sniper rifle, not a shotgun, because I want to know exactly what I'm dealing with so that I can have precision therapeutics based off of the precision testing that I have done. So doing some blood draws or doing some urinalysis testing to help people find out what type of toxins they have is powerful. And even doing a genetic profile is powerful, because if you know you have problems with an epigenetic pathway called methylation, and again, most people do, their body's not going to be able to methylate or detoxify very effectively. So you have physical, chemical, and neuroemotional. You can have toxins, but you can also have deficiencies. Look, I'm telling you, if you eat the standard American diet, you're going to have massive deficiencies. One of them being a deficiency in fiber. It's been said that 95% of people that eat the standard American diet have a deficiency in fiber. And if they have a deficiency in fiber, that's going to cause increase in blood sugar levels. That's going to cause a decrease in normal bowel function. It's going to cause a decrease in your body making something called postbiotics. These types of fatty acids that help heal the cells and that are essential for our body to be healthy. And we know that if you don't have enough fiber, it can lead to heart issues, inflammatory issues, GI issues, and so much more. But there are also deficiencies in vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And the food we eat today, because the soil is so deficient, it's very difficult to get those in your system. So you must be supplementing with the right nutrients. But the nutrients for supplements that you need are the ones that you need. So you either need to look at your diet and figure out from your standard foods that you eat, because the average person eats the same 12 to 14 foods all the time. You can look at that and find out what's deficient, or you can run some simple blood test or urinalysis test to get an idea of where you're at, or a genetic profile, a discovery DNA kit tells you how you absorb and process fats, carbs, and proteins. And it'll give you an idea what deficiencies you could have from a vitamin and nutrient standpoint from a genetic level. If you have it there, you need to support that. You're also most likely going to be deficient in enzymes, amylase, lipase, and protease. These are things that break down fats, carbs, and proteins. When we eat food, we mechanically break them down, but we're supposed to chew food up 20 to 30 times before we swallow it. Most people don't do that. So the foods don't break down small enough mechanically. When they get in the GI tract, they're too hard to digest. Well, then our organs in our body make these things called enzymes, which are catalysts to break down those foods from their macro to micro to nano sizes, so that they can get absorbed through our GI tract into our bloodstream, so they can go to the cells in our body to help repair tissues. Most of us don't have those. So supplementing with enzymes with each meal is really a big deal, especially for those of us over the age of 30. I'm telling you, if you're not taking a multi-plant-based enzyme with your meal, you're deficient. But you have to understand that knowledge is power, and wisdom is taking that knowledge and applying it to your life. And the reality of it is that we can make some massive changes fast by understanding how to take care of yourself. So knowing your physical, chemical, and neuroemotional well-being, the triad of health, is epically important. But then taking that knowledge and then using wisdom of applying the action steps to your life. So if I wanted to understand more about self-care being the real healthcare, that's what I call proactive health instead of reactive health. Reactive health is going, okay, I've got diabetes, I've got heart disease, I've got cancer, I've got end-stage pathology that came from cells changing because of the stress physically, chemically, and emotionally in my life over months, years, and decades led to this disease. And in order to reverse these diseases or dis-ease states, I have to work backwards what caused me to get there in the first place. I mean, isn't that the most common sense thing that you could think of? But if you don't know your deficiencies or toxicities, you don't understand the balance of how your body handles and responds and accommodates to stress, if you don't know your physical well-being, how can you possibly get healthier? When you go to most of the healthcare providers that you see to this day, they're measuring your blood to determine what drugs to put you on. and they're managing your symptoms to try to make you feel better. Managing your symptoms to make you feel better, I equate that to putting a check engine or a piece of tape over the check engine light of your car. Every one of us has been driving around and all of a sudden, ding, the check engine light of the car has gone off. Well, that check engine light isn't the problem. It's telling you there's a problem. The same thing's true with pain, inflammation, upset stomach, diarrhea, headaches, migraines, fatigue. Any symptom you can think of is your body saying, hey, man, there's a problem. And if all you do is take a picture of your kids or your dogs or a piece of tape and put it over that check engine light, that's not fixing the problem. And many of you are doing that with your health related issues. Oh, I've got muscle cramps, so I'm going to take magnesium. Or I've got chronic pain, I'm going to take a natural anti-inflammatory. Or I've got diabetes and I'm going to take a diabetic drug. Or I've got high blood pressure and I'm going to take lisinopril or something to reverse that. You don't have a lisinopril deficiency. You might not even have a magnesium deficiency. You might have a magnesium deficiency because something's out of whack physically, chemically, or emotionally in your body. And by the way, using supplements just like drugs to mask symptoms is no better than using a drug to do that either, except for supplements typically don't have as many side effects as drugs do. So it's all about getting to the root cause. But in order to help yourself, you have to know thyself. You've heard that phrase, physician, heal thyself, right? What does that mean? You can't heal yourself unless you know how to do that, unless you can get engaged with your body. And by the way, on my desk at home, there's a book there that I keep. It's called The Noetic Book of Spontaneous Remission. The Noetic Book of Spontaneous Remission. That book is a book that shows all of the supposed incurable diseases that are out there and individuals that have been cured of those diseases. And I just know that the way that the body works, the body is no respecters of person. If one person can do something, why can't others? Those others uncovered the roadmap of how to get them healthy. Look, I often talk about people that live in the blue zones of the world. These are places like, Sardinia, places in Greece like that, people in Okinawa, Japan, people that are in certain parts of California, people that are in certain areas of the world that live to be over 100 and live a happy, healthy, productive life. Those folks live a lifestyle based off of their genetics. They move, they exercise, they eat according to their genes. They eat real salt, they eat real butter, they have real fat, they have real sleep time. They get out into the world and live in the soil. They have the normal bacteria that's supposed to be there that's not in industrialized areas of the world. There are so many things that you can do to improve your health that we have massive amounts of knowledge about. We, the community of health and wellness experts, that you should have access to, that quite honestly is suppressed from you. Why? Because there ain't no money in the cure. Keeping you fat, sick, and nearly dead is a really good business model. They create the problem and then they create the solution for it. And by the way, some of the problems we have to this day is our poor food supplies. The fact that we have chemicals in our water like fluoride and chlorine that are known carcinogens and hormone disruptors, that the EPA just came out and said that there's no safe level of fluoride allowed in the body. But why the hell is it in your drinking water? It's in the water of your kids' water fountains at school. That disrupts the bacteria. That causes hormone imbalances. What about things like hand sanitizer that these kids are using before they have lunch every day? That can disrupt your endocrine system. That can cause you to gain weight. What about the fact that there's antibiotics in some of the meat and some of the water you drink, that one antibiotic prescription can disrupt the normal microflora in the GI tract for 12 to 18 months? There's all these common sense things that if we just put into place, we can live a happier, healthier, wealthier life. That's why self-care is the real healthcare. And you need to understand that yourself is different than everyone in your family. It could even be different if you're an identical twin. My wife is an identical twin. She has a different genetic profile than her twin sister does. Her bacteria is different. Her nutritional needs are different. Everybody is unique and perfectly made. Beautifully and perfectly made. Every man, woman, and child is uniquely, beautifully made on this planet. And there's a roadmap for you to follow. So you need to understand the concept of self-care. The more you can take care of yourself, the less that you have to be reliant on a system that's broken and doesn't work, folks. And I know you would agree with me. The less you have to participate in this system, the better you're going to be. And folks that live in the blue zones and people that understand self-care, these are folks that come up to me and I see them in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they're not fat, sick, and nearly dead. They're not disgusted, broken, busted. They're living their best life because they made a decision. At one point in their life, they decided, I'm going to go down the path to take care of me. And part of that path is educational. Education is so powerful. That's why doctor is Latin for teacher, but you got to take that knowledge and apply it to your life. That's wisdom. Nobody can do it for you. I can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. And that's really the ending message that I want to leave with all of you, is that self-care is the real healthcare. We will, doctors like myself, people like myself can give you the map, the keys in the car, but you still got to drive this thing. And nobody can take your health and your body as serious as you can. I tell my patients all the time, I'm going to help you, but if you don't do the things I ask you to do, you lose the ability to complain about your symptoms and problems in front of me, because we'll give you the solution, but you got to put it into play. And I don't want to hear excuses. My mom told me a long time ago, excuses are like, you know what, everybody's got them and they all smell like, you know what, right? Well, you can make excuses or you can take massive action. And I don't care where you're at in your health and wellness journey, you can make a decision today that I'm going to go down the path of self-care. I'm going to learn more about what self-care really means to me. And I'm going to take my life and my health and my wellness to the next level. Folks, until we meet again, I'm going to encourage you to go watch this podcast, share it with your friends and family members. I'm going to also tell you that it's really important to make sure you go like and share this information with your friends and family online. Make sure you go tag us on with all the other health experts out there. Let's make this information go viral, because self-care is the real healthcare. Go to our website. That's PEPTalk.world. That's PEPTalk.world. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. And folks, remember that knowledge is power, but wisdom is taking that knowledge and applying it to your life. Until we meet again, I'm Dr. Eric Nepute. God bless you. God bless America, and God bless the world. Stay smart out there, folks, and I'll see you next time. Be well.